All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that the secret to running faster and farther is actually to walk? Yeah, I know it sounds completely backwards, but believe it or not, for literally hundreds of thousands of runners, taking walk breaks isn't a sign of weakness. It's their secret weapon. This is the run-walk paradox, and we are going to unpack it.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll lay out the central paradox itself. Then we'll look at the super popular method that promises to make you a better runner through walking. After that, we'll see what cold, hard physics has to say about it all, and uncover a pretty surprising energy tax. And finally, we'll put it all together to help you figure out if this is the right strategy for you.
So, let's start with that big, central question. The one that seems to defy all logic for anyone who's ever pinned on a race bib. How on earth can slowing down possibly make you faster?
I mean, really think about it for a second. You're in a race. The clock is ticking. Every single second counts. So the idea of intentionally stopping your run to walk, it feels like the absolute last thing you should be doing. But what if all that conventional wisdom is just wrong?
Well, this brings us to the man right at the center of this whole debate, former Olympian Jeff Galloway. He is the guy who championed and even trademarked a strategy called the run, walk, run method. And let me tell you, it has a massive, massive following.
Galloway's whole argument is this. It's not about taking a break when you're already toast. Not at all. It's about taking strategic walk breaks from the very beginning to stop you from getting tired in the first place. The whole idea is to erase fatigue in these tiny little chunks before it has a chance to build up and ruin your race.
And the benefits he promises? They're huge. We're talking less fatigue, less stress on your body, a way faster recovery after the race, and a lower chance of getting injured. But maybe the biggest promise of all is finishing the race feeling strong instead of just completely hitting the wall. I mean, it's a method that claims over 98% of its participants successfully finish their marathons. 98%.
And this isn't just some random walk when you feel like it plan. Nope, it is a very specific strategy. You look at your goal pace and you follow a strict ratio. So let's say you're a 9-minute mile runner. You would run for exactly 2 minutes, then walk for 30 seconds. And you repeat that cycle over and over from the starting line to the finish line.
Okay, so the method is super popular, and you can find endless stories of it working. But this is where our paradox really gets interesting. What happens when this real-world strategy runs headfirst into the unbending laws of science?
You know, the common assumption, the thing that just feels right, is that taking walk breaks must save you energy. It feels easier, right? So it must be more efficient. Well, it turns out physics has a slightly different story to tell, and it all starts with a fundamental law of motion.
This all comes down to something you probably learned in high school, the law of inertia. An object in motion wants to stay in motion. So every single time you slow down to a walk and then have to speed back up to a run, you're fighting against that inertia. That process of constantly hitting the brakes and then hitting the gas actually burns more energy than just cruising along at a steady speed.
And this isn't just some theory on a blackboard. Scientists decided to actually measure this cost of starting and stopping. And what they found, well, it led to a pretty surprising discovery.
So in 2020, researchers did a really smart, simple experiment. They got 30 runners on treadmills and measured exactly how much energy they were burning under 3 different scenarios, just to see which one was truly the most efficient.
And the results? They were totally clear. The run-walk strategy consistently required more energy. We're talking almost 4 extra calories just to travel 1 kilometer, compared to just running at a steady pace. Turns out, physics was right all along.
The researchers were even able to put a precise number on it. They called it a 6% energy tax. For the exact same distance, the run-walk runners were paying a 6% metabolic penalty. So, if we're only looking at fuel efficiency, the run-walk method is actually less efficient.
So this is the real heart of the paradox, right? We have a method that is now scientifically proven to burn more gas, to be less energy efficient, and yet countless people are using it to do incredible things. So what in the world is going on here?
Just when we learn about this 6% energy tax, we hear stories just like this one from a runner named Pam. She qualified for the Boston freaking Marathon using a 4-minute run, 1-minute walk strategy. The real-world results seem to fly in the face of what a pure energy analysis would tell us.
And this, right here, is where we solve the paradox. The success of the run-walk method isn't about metabolic efficiency. It has nothing to do with it. It's about managing the human experience of running a really long way. It's a trade. You pay a small price in calories, and in exchange, you get this huge benefit in managing your fatigue, preserving your muscles, and staying mentally in the game. This is why paying that 6% energy tax is an absolutely fantastic deal for so many runners. In return for that tax, you get to systematically erase your fatigue, bit by bit. You protect your muscles from getting shredded on a long run, you stay in control, and that is why recovery is so much faster, and that's why the finish rates are so incredibly high.
So now that we know all this, how do you decide if this strategy is right for you? It's not about which method is just better, it's about which method is better for achieving your specific goals.
In the end, the choice to use the run-walk method is a really smart, strategic trade-off. You're knowingly choosing an engine that's a little less fuel efficient, but in exchange, you get a driver who can stay strong, focused, and healthy all the way to the finish line.
So I guess it all comes down to this one simple question. What are you really trying to optimize for? Are you optimizing for the pure mechanical efficiency of your body as an engine? Or are you optimizing for the endurance and well-being of you, the driver, who actually has to pilot that engine for 26.2 grueling miles? Your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.